I need you to understand something. When a US Tomahawk missile makes direct impact with an all-girl school, not debris falling, not collateral damage, when it makes direct impact, that is not a malfunction. That is the process running exactly as it was designed. In all of human history, the hardest problem in warfare has been finding your enemy fast enough to act on it. You want to know where is the leader, who else is in the room, and where are they going to next. You want to know where they sleep, where they like to have lunch. Now, AI doesn't completely solve that problem, but it compresses its solution time from weeks to hours to minutes. It does this by pulling loads of information, satellite imagery, phone data, signal intelligence, movement patterns, and it's all collated into what military experts call now a pattern of life. In Gaza, Israel built this out at population scale to track specific targets. So they created an AI targeting system called Lavender, which collected your social network connections, your location data, your phone usage patterns, and even your WhatsApp group memberships to assign a score to every person in Gaza between 1 and 100. How militant are they? On top of that, Israel deployed facial recognition cameras at military checkpoints for every person in Gaza. Combined with drone footage, they were able to build a biometric database of real-time movement of these people. At its peak, Lavender's database hosted 37,000 Palestinian targets. And then they'd have a human officer review each one, which they said has taken an average of about 20 seconds. And if I quote one officer, I had zero added value as a human, apart from being a stamp of approval. For a low-ranking operative, the collateral threshold, or how many civilian deaths you're willing to accept to reach your target, is 15 to 20 civilians. Now, this threshold is defined by the programmer of the system, not the commander in charge. So when you ask how a school full of girls get hit by a missile, well, the school sat next to an IRGC naval base. And Defense Intelligence Agency data listed this building as a part of that base. The problem is that information is outdated. That was true in 2013, but in 2016, it became a civilian school. So yes, the school was next to a naval base, but you know what else was in between those? A medical clinic, which increases, I think, the collateral threshold here, no? Because if you don't hit the naval base, there are now 2 civilian targets that you could possibly be hitting. And surprisingly, the president in 2016 didn't make sure that this list was updated. Whoever that person was, they must have been busy with something else, right? And you know, they probably couldn't catch it this time because the civilian casualty review team, Hegseth cut that team 90% this year. When this war started, US Command had 1 staffer working on civilian harm mitigation. Despite this walking, talking, PR, social, you'll never get into heaven nightmare, AI companies are tripping over themselves to get contracts with Department of Defense. Sure, Anthropic drew a line, no mass surveillance, no autonomous weapons without humans in the loop, but they haven't said that they wouldn't build those autonomous weapons. They just want to make sure a human is in the loop. And sure, OpenAI doesn't care much either, but I guess we should be grateful that it's more than what OpenAI is setting their boundaries at. I think it's clear, if you weren't sure before, that these companies aren't going to save us and these politicians aren't going to save us. It's going to be up to us to define what the future looks like and how we use the power of AI. There are going to be major regulations. I don't know about you, but I don't think AI should be making decisions on a human's life, especially not a school full of children's lives.